Welcome to the second last section, Continuous Integration Pipeline. This section explains the idea of pipelining and introduces the Jenkins file syntax. Then we will be creating a continuous integration pipeline and learn about quality stages. Moving on, we will add pipeline triggers and notifications. And finally, we will be explaining development workflows and branching strategies. Now, we move on to the first video of this section, Introducing Pipelines. In this video, we're going to explain the idea of pipelining and introduce you to the Jenkins pipeline syntax. A pipeline is a sequence of automated operations that usually represents a part of software delivery and the quality assurance process. It can be simply seen as a chain of scripts providing some additional benefits, such as operation grouping. Operations are grouped together into stages that introduce a structure into the process and clearly define the rule. Visibility. All aspects of the process are visualized, which help in quick failure analysis and promotes team collaboration. Feedback. Team members learn about any problems as soon as they occur, so they can react quickly. A Jenkins pipeline consists of two kinds of elements, stages and steps. The figures show how they are used. The basic pipeline elements are step and stage. Step is a single operation that tells Jenkins what to do. Stage is a logical separation of steps used to visualize the Jenkins pipeline progress. As an example, let's extend the Hello World pipeline to contain two stages. Here you can see that we have replaced the previous code with this one. This is the first stage and this is the second one. Now save it. The pipeline has no special requirements in terms of environment, any slave agent, and it executes 3 steps inside 2 stages. When we click on Build Now, we should see the visual representation. The pipeline succeeded, and we can see the step execution details by clicking on the console. This is our console output. If any of the steps failed, the processing would stop and no further steps would run. Actually, the entire reason for a pipeline is to prevent all further steps from execution and visualize the point of failure. We have discussed the pipeline elements and already used a few of the pipeline steps. For example, echo. What other options can we use inside the pipeline definition? The declarative syntax was designed to make it as simple as possible to understand the pipeline, even by the people who do not write code on a daily basis. This is why syntax is limited only to the most important keywords. Let's prepare an experiment and, before we describe all the details, we will first read the pipeline definition and try to guess what it does. For this, we configure the pipeline syntax. Here, we add this block of code. Hopefully, the pipeline didn't scare you. It is quite complex. Actually, it's so complex that it contains all possible Jenkins instructions. To answer the experiment puzzle, let's see what the pipeline does instruction by instruction. First, we use any available agent. Let me increase the font size and it would be great to see. Using this line, we execute the command automatically every minute. This line stops if the execution takes more than 5 minutes. The fourth line asks for the Boolean input parameter before starting. In the next step, we set raffle as the environment variable name. Only in the case of the true input parameter, print hello from raffle print testing, the Chrome browser, print testing the browser. Finally, we print I will always say hello again, no matter if there are any errors during the execution. Save the changes. Let's build the pipeline. It takes some time. Once it is built, we will now check its console output. Let's describe the most important Jenkins keywords. A declarative pipeline is always specified inside the pipeline block and contains sections, directives, and steps. We will walk through each of them. Sections define the pipeline structure and usually contain one or more directives or steps. They are defined with the key words stages, step, and post. Stages defines a series of one or more stage directives. Steps defines a series of one or more step instructions. Post defines a series of one or more step instructions that are run at the end of the pipeline build. Next is directive. The directives express the configuration of a pipeline or its parts. They are defined by agent, which specifies where the execution takes place. Triggers. Triggers define automated ways to trigger the pipeline and can use cron to set the time-based scheduling. Options. Options specify pipeline-specific options. Environment. This defines a set of key values used as environment variables. Parameters define a list of user input parameters. Stage. This allows for logical grouping of steps. And the last one is when. This determines whether the stage should be executed depending on the given condition. Steps are the most fundamental part of the pipeline. They define the operations that are executed, so they actually tell Jenkins what to do. They are defined using sh, custom, and script. sh executes the shell command. Custom. Jenkins offers a lot of operations that can be used as steps, for example, echo. Many of them are simply wrappers over the sh command used for convenience. Plugins can also define their own operations. The script executes a block of Groovy base code that can be used for some non-trivial scenarios where flow control is needed. Notice that the pipeline syntax is very generic and technically can be used for almost any automation process. This is why the pipeline should be treated as a method of structurization and visualization. That's all for now, folks.